take 5 planet Earths. I mean, there are a lot of issues there about if we're able to adopt some of the sustainable technology and some of the ways that nanotechnology or things could help us be more green. I mean,
So isn't in a sense indefinite lifestyle is anti-sustainable in a sense? Like sustainable is about cycles. Where's the cycle in an indefinite lifespan?
well, you would have to, at some point, you would have to be moving into other living environments. And people look at that different ways, like the uploaders are being able to have your consciousness in almost a virtual world, or some people look at that, or doing, having space travel, and it's a very large, the scale of the universe. But
Anders?
Apropos this issue of sustainability, first of all, it might be true, of course, that we need 5 planet Earths to sustain American lifestyle, but we would need about 70 to sustain the current population as hunter-gatherers. Modern technology actually makes us much more efficient. One interesting angle in this is, of course, if you're going to live longer, you're going to have a longer time span to plan for. So one interesting question is, would a more long-lived humanity actually be much more inclined to take care of its planet? So one interesting test subject would, of course, be to look at people interested in life extension and actually study their time preferences. Try to see, do they actually try to plan more long-term than people who don't believe that we're going to get life extension?
Terry?
Thank you. I'm impressed with what you've said, and it's very interesting. Now I have a sort of question about why. In the first instance, now I can understand if you're a mother and you're looking for grandchildren. I can see that as a reason that, hey, I want to help and do this and that. And I want to see the world tomorrow, and the sun may rise beautifully, and the birds may sing. It's wonderful. But why live longer? What benefit does it bring to mankind as a whole? It consumes more resources. If we only lived to the ages we did a few hundred years ago, we'd only be half the number of people on Earth, or maybe a bit more than that, because still a lot of people die fairly young. And so the resources would not be so consumed. Clearly, if everyone had salads and little bits of meat, sustaining them would cost a lot less, and there'd be more resources with which to sustain them. But on the whole, the question is, why should people want to live longer? What benefits does it bring to mankind?
right. Well, I think that you wouldn't choose to necessarily die the next day or the same day if you're presented that, and a lot of us have lived longer than we would have, I believe, in other ages or other time periods. And I think that we would come up with solutions to some of those as they would arise, but I don't think we're anywhere near that yet, having that sort of problem. I mean, but why on living longer? I guess my view is that there are so many there's so many problems that we have to work on. I think an incredible amount of intelligence is lost with a person that's been working in a certain field. I mean, I think we could advance as a species farther if we were living longer. I mean, that's there's enormous cost to education and then acquiring skills in your field. But I see a lot of angles of why live longer that are rational, and also, just from an emotional or philosophical standpoint of wanting to go explore and see the universe. But there are many debates about that at Immortality Institute. That's one of there are a lot of people that will come, and they come from different backgrounds and different religions, and we'll have that debate about why.
So people should look at the forums. Well, my question to you, Terry, would be: are you saying that as people live, all they do is consume? But isn't it also possible that as people live, they're also producing? So rather than saying, what value you're doing, you're consuming, you can say, well, there's plenty of value you're producing. Producing material goods, producing artistic, cultural, aesthetic goods.
carbon
Well,
dioxide.
yes, the quote I was going to use, and you've given me the opportunity to use it, is the graveyards of the world are full of irreplaceable men and women.
Phil?
I just wanted to, again, I suspect that the people you see at the Immortality Institute are people who want to become immortal. But does your advocacy give you an indication of what level of public sympathy there is in terms of these goals, and whether that has changed over time? I mean, I suspect that the biggest thing which is quite important is this sort of self-empowerment in terms of health and health outcomes has been perhaps, it makes people more sympathetic to these sort of goals to a certain extent. You know, you think, I can become healthier, I can act to become healthier, that will essentially, perhaps I can become healthier and extend my life at the same time. Have you seen any change over time in your period of advocacy whereby the goals that you advocate are becoming more popular, more accepted?
Well, I would say yes. I do see that. I think that's true. On public sympathy, I suppose, I really enjoy teaching the future technology courses to children. I mean, they're very excited about some of the ideas, and I hope that they take that with them. About like, I mean, I got to talk with Barbara Walters from the interview that I did through Alcor and about cryonics, and I was saying, well, you know, I was just impressed with the amount of people that I had run into that knew about her, that were from different cultures, and they, you know, saying, well, when you want to try cryonics, if it worked, I mean, you could have that same reach on, you know, someday or another. And she's like, oh, well, nobody would want to thaw me out. I said, I mean, she was like, well, nobody would. I mean, it was just, it was interesting to see that either some people are interested, you know, instantly when you're talking to them, and they want to get the information, they want to go read about it, or they just, you know, cancel it for some reason. I mean, I've seen that, or people that have, like my mother, who is now helping with the Alcor transport team in Austin. She's an RN, and at first she was very, yes, you want to do cryonics, and then she's a very strong environmentalist, and, well, no, it'd be bad for the environment. So, you know, I had to look at that. Well, you're not, you know, what's your carbon footprint? It's like less than 25 cents a year, and you're using, you know, looking at the liquid nitrogen, you're not using the electricity or what you're giving back, or even if you have a set, you know, funds that you have that are generating income for. I mean, that's the other thing. If you want to give back more, I mean, I wish I had more money than I do to give to organizations that I'm, you know, helping. Different times in my life, I've been able to give more than, you know, I currently am, and, you know, still, I think I give more, certainly percentage-wise, than most people do. But I would like to be able to give back more. But it's been interesting to watch that. It's like some people are, for the reasons that they either sign or don't sign up for cryonics. And I've talked with a lot of people about cryonics and done a lot of interviews on that. So.
Did you?
Yeah, I would like to say a few things. The first thing is, there's something, well, I'm a life extensionist. I don't practice calorie restriction, and there is something I don't understand for the people really doing this very active. If you think like I think that in a not so far future we will be able to live, well, not forever, but a lot more, well, what's the interest to have just this difference of 5, 6, 7 years in calorie restriction? Well, if we are going to succeed in less than 30 years, it's even not useful to have 5 years more. That's the first thing that I want to say. The second, it's about this natural way. Is it not? Well, is it a good thing to live forever? And is it not better to die of old age? For me, it's very important to know that it's not natural to die of old age. since 100,000 years,